Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. Happy Saturday. Excited to be here with all of you. We are digging into Instagram feed posts today. I am going to share my screen with all of you now. We're going to hop right into it. I would love to hear from you guys in the chat, just how your week went, even just on a little scale of 1 to 10. Let's get this going here. Get the chat box open. 10. Awesome. Productive. Great. All right. Can everyone see my screen? Thumbs up. We can see what's going on the screen. Amazing. So the last few weeks, we have been talking about Instagram. So just a quick recap. Week 1, we talked about why we need Instagram. Week 2, we talked about perfecting our bio. And last week, we just did sort of a walkthrough of all the different types of content that are available to us on Instagram. So today we're going to be digging into feed content. So these are the posts that you can post to your Instagram profile that stay up on the feed. So if you're looking, for example, at the Manatech one, it's everything that you see in that sort of grid format. That is what we're talking about when we're talking about feed content. So let's hop right into this. Be sure you guys can ask questions along the way. Where's the little arrow button? I always seem to lose this. There we go. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about 2 different ways to look at Instagram, and especially when it comes to our content and how to really frame that content. Because of course, we want goals for Instagram, for social media, for Facebook. Tony's saying she's not seeing anything on the screen, but are the rest of you seeing it? You're not seeing my, okay, hold on.
We have a black screen.
Okay, let's try this again then. Okay, can you guys see the?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Cool, and we can still see it? Okay, yay! Sometimes when I'm working with 2 screens, it's a little different for me. Okay, so where's the chat now? Perfect, got that back up and going. Yay, okay, great. You guys are like, is it just supposed to be black? So we're talking about 2 different ways. Like I said, we want to have those goals, right? When we're on social media, it doesn't have to just be Instagram. It could be Facebook. It could be LinkedIn, wherever it is that you are wanting to spend your time. We want to have a goal. What am I trying to do? What am I trying to build? Am I trying to find customers? Am I just trying to find more followers? Do I want to find more associates, right? And so it's having this frame of mind. And there's 2 ways to also look at our content. And number 1, this is content that is problem aware. So what I mean by this is, and we're going to actually talk about problem aware content when we get into talking also in the near future about platforms like YouTube and Pinterest. Okay, so this is going to be for people who are problem aware. So for example, when you think of, let's just use YouTube as an example because it's easy. When you use YouTube and you go to search for something, type in the chat some things that you search for to watch on YouTube. You know, I've searched for things like how to clean my oven, or how to build a shelf, or what else? A makeup tutorial, how to curl my hair, right? There are things that I'm looking for. And so typically when we're on YouTube, we're aware that we have a problem, but we don't have the solution. Yeah, Sharon said how-tos, right? I know that I need a shelf. I know that I need to do this. You know, people may go to YouTube and Google, what is gut health? What should I do to improve my gut health? They know that they have a problem, They just don't know the solution. And so when we are thinking about even our Instagram in this way, when people are searching for content, so for example, they're using hashtags. We're going to talk a bit about hashtags today. Hashtags are something you can include in your captions on Instagram that help categorize your posts. I always like to visualize it as, remember pre-computers at the library, if you wanted to find a book, you would go to that area with all the little drawers and you'd open it up and you'd find, by author or by topic, and you'd search through the little cards and then you'd go find the book using the little sort of cue card, right? It's being categorized in those ways. And that's how I envision hashtags. Or even if you just think of a library or a bookstore in general, right? They have home and gardening, they have fiction, they have nonfiction, they have health and wellness. So you know exactly where to go to find what you're looking for in a store that could have thousands and thousands of books. It's the same on Instagram. There's millions and millions of posts, but how do I find the ones that I'm looking for? And hashtags help with that. So when you are creating posts to help gain more followers to your page, oftentimes we are coming from this perspective of our follower or our potential customer or lead is problem aware. So what types of posts can I do that are how-tos or tutorials about, or information and education posts for people that know they have a problem and are looking for a solution? So let's type some in the chat right now as examples. I gave one in how to improve my gut health. What foods should I eat to improve my gut health? As a woman over 50, what supplements should I be taking every day? For somebody who is experiencing a hormonal condition, what supplements should I take every day? What do I do with pumpkin seeds? Great. Right? You've just carved out that pumpkin. You got a lot of seeds there. What am I supposed to do with them? So put some more in the chat. I want you guys getting your brain thinking about this right now. This is someone who knows they have a problem and they are looking for the solution. You are the solution. So what I often find, and we're going to talk about this one in a second, or actually I can just go to the next screen to show you, is that most people speak as if our followers or potential followers are solution aware. Now, solution aware are still very important types of posts because they continue to engage, excuse me, our current audience. So the first one are people that go, I know I have a problem with my gut health. I don't know what to do about it. So I'm going to go into Instagram. I'm going to type in gut health and I'm going to look through posts that have to, love that one. Dave put how to lower cholesterol without medication. Amazing. People know I have high cholesterol. I don't want to take medication. How do I do that? That is a problem aware customer that is looking for a solution. A solution aware is somebody who is maybe your current customer who already trusts you, and you can constantly just talk about Manatech because they trust you and they know that you're the solution. They're aware that you and your business are the answer to their problems. But would you say most people you encounter online are aware that you are the solution? Yes or no in the chat? No, right? They don't know that you are the solution. So what happens is a lot of the time when we're on social media and we're thinking of posts, we only come from this solution aware perspective. We talk about how great Manatech is. We talk about how great the products are because we are assuming that everyone knows that we're the answer to their problem. But sometimes we have to go back a step further and talk to the problem aware. Somebody is not, okay, they're not, that's not true to say that they're not going to, but chances are much smaller that someone is going to find you because they were specifically looking for Manatech versus they were looking for a solution to their gut problems. Can we agree with that? Yes or no? Do we think people are more likely to find us because they're searching for Manatech or because they are looking for a solution to their problems? Yes, absolutely. They're looking for a solution. They know their problem. They don't really care who solves their problem. They're just looking for an answer, right? If they're equipped with the knowledge of, I know Manatech is the answer, they're not going to go through that process of searching. They're just going to contact you directly, right? Or they're going to come directly to your page or directly to the Manatech corporate page. And so when we think about when we're posting, think about yourself. What have I been posting to Facebook? Have I posted anything to Instagram? Am I talking mostly like people are aware that I'm the solution, or am I creating content that speaks directly to the problem? We need to talk about some of the problems. Are you experiencing issues with gut health? I love how to lower cholesterol without medication. What supplements should a woman over 50 be taking every single day? Right? And so we think about this, and this is going to help inform what we need to be sharing online. And so even as a part of your work that you do to put this into action, you can actually take a piece of paper. I got a piece of paper here. You can draw a line down the center, put problem aware, solution aware. Write down ideas under both. Both are important. Why? Because let's say, for example, Dave's talking about, because great example, how to lower cholesterol without medication. I had my blood work done a few months ago, and they were concerned about my cholesterol levels, right? And so, great, I want to learn how to lower my cholesterol. So Dave posts something, how to lower cholesterol without medication. That's exactly where I want to be. I want to learn what supplements to take and how to eat to make this better, not just to put, some prescriptions in my body. I find this post of Dave's, wow, this is awesome. This is the information that I'm looking for. And so I engage on Dave's post and I click follow. I want to follow what Dave's posting. If he's only ever talking about the problem aware, what happens? I become disinterested because I'm already aware of my problem and you've already convinced me you're the solution, Dave. So what do I do now? I need him to talk to me about why him and why Manatech. And so when you're thinking about your posts, sometimes I think we become so compartmentalized with social media. We're only thinking about one post at a time, which is important, right? To think about that in that way. It's like a golfer, right? A golfer is going to think of one hole at a time. That's what he's focused on. But he has in his mind, what is he trying to get at the end of 12 holes? What's par of his entire, I don't know too much about golf, but the whole game, what is he trying to get? How many swings is he trying to get under par? So even though he's only focused on that one hole, he's still thinking about how does this all work together? 18 holes. I said 12. Right? So if he knows that he gets par or over par on one, that next one, he's got, tighten it up a little bit, right? For his end goal. So while we think about social media on a post by post basis, we also have to consider the entire experience of a follower and what are we building out? It's like if you're writing a book, yes, you're going to write chapter by chapter, but it all needs to make sense together. Otherwise, somebody's going to open up that book and they're going to be jumping all over the place and they're not going to understand what's going on or where they're going. And so it's having that combination of, to help you gain followers and find new people, problem-aware content. To convert those people into customers, solution-aware content. Build trust, right? We talk about know, like, and trust. People do business with people, they KLT, know, like, trust. And you can do that through social media by the different types of posts that you're doing. So I want you to do that chart and start to write down some ideas. Problem aware, love those ones that you did. So solution aware would be something about, okay, so Dave, for example, how to lower cholesterol without medication. What's the top product that you would suggest for somebody to help with that? Post that in the chat, or anyone else can help post there. Or maybe it's the, supplements for women over 50. What is something that people absolutely need to have? Maybe cardio balance, plus, great. So let's say, for example, you do your problem aware post, how to lower cholesterol without medication. Great. Your next post could be talking about cardio balance, right? You could be talking about plus. Here's why. That could also be in your stories, right? We'll talk about stories, but if you did a problem aware post and you're really building engagement there, you could hop on your Instagram stories and talk about that even more. You could actually put in your caption on your post, go click my Instagram stories to hear about the number one product that you need in your arsenal to help you with this, right? And so it's what are examples of both of those? So that is going to be part of your homework for this week. What is problem aware and solution aware? Yeah, Mary Jo, make sure you guys obviously are compliant with everything that you are saying, right? Okay, so different types of posts that you can do on your feed. One, you can do quote posts. Do we all understand what I mean by quote posts? I'll show an example in a moment, but it's just a graphic with text. Okay, it could be an inspirational quote. It could be a tip, right? It could just be some language. There was a really funny one that I saw that I posted to the Manatech one because it happened to pop up in my feed and it made me giggle. So I thought, oh, I'm going to post it to Manatech. And it said, where is it? Welcome to the over 30s. You now have an area in your home just for vitamins. How true, right? So that was funny. That would be an example of a quote post. Different types of posts. You could also do a testimonial. Those are things that's going to help build what? A testimonial is going to help with problem aware or solution aware. Type it in the chat. A testimonial from a customer, problem aware or solution aware. Joan says both. Both. It definitely could, depending on the testimonial. I would definitely lean more towards it being solution aware, right? Because it's talking about why the product is great, right? Where the problem aware would be about, I'm suffering with, I know that my gut health is bad, but I don't know how to fix it. Someone giving you a testimonial, right, is going to help your solution aware. So if I was, following somebody, I would pulled in towards the problem aware post and I see that solution aware on there, I'm building my trust, right? And my interest in the product that this person's representing. We have product posts, okay? Product posts could be a tutorial on how to use a product. It could be a recipe. Let's say you were doing something with TruePlenish. We posted something today and how to make your TruePlenish like a pumpkin spice flavor. So what to add in there so that you can skip all the sugar at Starbucks. It could be just a product highlight, right? And so would you say this is more problem aware or solution aware? Type that in the chat. Solution, absolutely. Yep, you guys got it. I didn't ask that for quotes. Quotes could really go either way or no way, right? So that could be something that is, like I said, just inspirational, more about your own personal branding. They also do really well, but they could go either way depending on the quote that you choose. You could do a quote post about gut health, right? That speaks directly to a problem. A selfie of you. So a picture of you, right? This could also go either way or no way. And it's okay that not every post is either solution or problem aware, because sometimes we also need to include things about us. Yes, Mary Jo says, I love posting 67 and no drugs ever. That could be something that you also include with a selfie, right? It could just be a picture of you out in nature on a walk, right? Maybe on your birthday. Today's my birthday. I turned 67 and I am on no drugs ever, living my best and healthiest life. Right? Mary Jo says too, fat loss right now for all of you for New You 90. That's a great another posting a photo of you. It's speaking either to one of those things or it's just building out who you are. Personal branding is talking about, yes, I know you have a problem with your gut. Yes, this is the solution in helping you take this product. but why should you work with me? Why should you get this from me? Why should I be your coach, the person to really help lead you through this transformation? Right? And that's where that personal branding comes in. On selfies too, telling stories, sharing your transformations, right? We talked in a previous training before about the story. You have the normal, you have the transformation moment, and then you have your new normal. What did your life look like before? Then you had this climax, right? Something happened, a problem you became aware of, you found a solution, it created a transformation, and now you have your new normal, right? We've talked about that before, sharing your stories in there. Tutorials and tips could also go either way, depending if you were doing a tutorial on how to use a product, on how to create a better habit for taking supplements. That could be a problem aware versus the solution aware of actually digging into the product. And then tips, right? A tip could look like you either posting a photo of something and then in the caption, you could build that out, or you could do a carousel post, which is where you post multiple photos as one post. And it could look more like quotes. It could just look like text on a graphic where you go step 1, step 2, step 3, right? And so having a variation, and then lifestyle. That lifestyle is where it pulls in that personal branding. So we're going to show a few different sort of examples here. So I just pulled up the Manatech one to show some different types of posts that you could do. Okay, so this one in the middle is one I didn't even kind of include but these are just engagement type posts. So we posted this and said, fine, there's an orange poker chip amongst all these pumpkins. I will say that it took me quite some time to find it, but I won't show you where it is if you want to go look for it. But there is one in here. And so that got people engaged. It's just something fun, but could be included under the sort of personal branding aspect of this is a fun page. You know, Lindsay doesn't take everything super seriously if this was me posting it to my personal page, right? Obviously, as a corporate brand, we're going to focus more on the products, okay? But there's different things. This would be more of a lifestyle, more of like a know, like, and trust personal branding in terms of talking about M5M. This is a heart-centered post, not a product-centered post. It's saying, this is who I am, and this is what I care about, and this is my mission. This one, more lifestyle. I think we talked about in this one, you know, getting off to a great start in the mornings. This one, we definitely talked about product. We talked about the Emperor Zone and Firm bundle that's on discount right now. This one we put, and because we know that you guys are obviously solution aware, so our audience is a bit different, but we said, what is this? What product is this? Comment below to be entered into a draw. Which one is it? I want to see you guys. Everyone was commenting the same one, so I think everyone got it on the actual post. But if you guys want to post it in the chat and guess which product this is. Yeah, you guys got that. Omega-3, which was interesting. I just had a meeting with my dietitian last week and we talked all about omega-3 and how important that is. And then another one, just a little sort of lifestyle one. We know everyone gets really excited when we post OSP, but our photographer made it a little bit more for the holiday season, for the Halloween season, right? Let's look at some other examples. So this one is that quote I was talking about. Oops. Let's go back. Welcome to the over 30s. You now have an area in your home just for vitamins. So that's what a quote post would look like, right? And then you can do any of these sort of posts. These are more product heavy, like I mentioned, but you could do something where, you know, maybe in a quote, you talk about looked like food for pugs. That's funny. That's funny, Mary Jo. So yeah, you could do something in here that makes it more problem aware. These ones are more solution aware. So if your page though is looking just like this, right? You want to, we have it in ourselves for corporate, but let me, Peggy. So Peggy asked, for those of you that are on Facebook, where does one find all those Manatech photos to use? I will talk to Ben about getting all the photography that we do uploaded to the social media studio so that you guys can pull from there too, because we have a new photographer and I mean, these are obviously stunning photos and they're fun. Like I loved this one right here with, her holding across her eyes. It's just nice and fun. And then great for adding, different things, but you want to make sure that, as Mary Jo said, like do your own pictures too. They don't have to be super professional like this. You want to put some of these in, but you want to be speaking on your page too. I want to see who you are. So this is what a feed looks like when we're talking about feed posts. So where do I find some ideas of what to post, right? So I'm thinking about, I need a good mix on my page of problem aware and solution aware, plus some posts sprinkled in about me. Who am I? What do I care about? How can you get to know me? Well, number one, Instagram, right? You can look around Instagram to get ideas, especially competitors or mentors. So I say mentors because I don't like looking at everyone on Instagram as a competitor to me. There are certain people who I love what they do that I want to be more like, and I call them my secret mentors. So they're accounts that I check in on every day to see what it is that they're posting, how are they sharing, what are they talking about. If something gets a lot of engagement, I try to deconstruct the post. What do I think is working here? So that could be a place that you get ideas, of course. Pinterest. Joan just asked, when I posted the OSP photo from social media studio to my private Facebook group, Facebook blocked and deleted. Any ideas? I'm not too sure. Joan, I would definitely email Ben and ask Ben. He's definitely more of the technical side than I am, but I will shoot a message even after this to Ben and our contact, Bo, who helps us with the social media studio. So I'll make sure that that gets answered for you. So another place that you can find ideas of what to post is Pinterest. How many of you put in the chat use Pinterest at all or ever, or have you ever been on Pinterest? I love Pinterest. Pinterest is also definitely another problem aware heavy platform. People go on there to look for things, mostly, recipes, a lot of home decor, things like that. It's also a great place to look for quote ideas. If you're looking for different quotes to post, I love going there. You can even type on Instagram, health and wellness aesthetic. So I'll post in the chat, health and wellness aesthetic. And you'll get a bunch of ideas on Pinterest of what you could also post. Okay. So there's lots of ideas there. And then utilizing magazines and blogs, which, I also will include in here. YouTube, you can buy health and wellness magazines, right? And you can, or go to different blogs, different websites, and see what it is that they're talking about. And what's great is you can pull stats from it. So on Emerge this week, for example, Mary Jo brought up an article that she had read, 2.3 million, Mary Jo, or 2.8 women left the workforce during COVID, right? Some involuntarily, many voluntarily, because they are looking for something different, something with more flexibility. They couldn't keep up with all the expectations of a full-time job and everything that they're currently doing at home. They're home with kids and all these different things, which is an amazing statistic to know, to speak to when you're talking about what? The business opportunity, right? That is someone problem aware. That's talking about a statistic, problem aware. Okay. And so you can do the same thing here when it comes to social media, just even in terms of products. So you can look up different things. So I'll show you an example here of Pinterest. Going backwards. So all I did on Pinterest was I typed in health quotes. So this could be just an example. You don't have to pull these specifically to post, but you could always take, the languaging on it, and you could create a post yourself, either on Canva or in the social media studio. You can make quote graphics. So, even looking here, health is adding a level of intention to every area of your life. Love that. Today is your day to start fresh, to eat right, to train hard, to live healthy, to be proud. Negative mind will never give you a positive life. Growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong, etc. So there's a lot of different, even this, happy brain chemicals, how to hack them, right? Different things that make us happy. So there's a lot of different things that you can find on Pinterest. Here's an example. I went to Oprah.com and went to her health and wellness section. There's a lot of articles here, right? So number one, this is giving you problem aware content all the time, how to quit sugar. And I love this, based on your personality, right? That could be an interesting article to read. And so not only do you maybe get an idea of, oh, I want to talk about how to quit sugar, right? Especially we're going into the holiday season. Okay, so how am I going to avoid some of those things? Well, what you could do is you could go in here, you get that idea, and then maybe you pull some statistics from here that you can share that are going to be of interest to people. Maybe we talk about, why we need to eliminate sugar, right? So that's an example. Another example here from Oprah, 5 surprising habits that reduce inflammation. The foods and drink that are sapping your energy, right? So that's why I love using magazines. I love using websites, like going to Oprah, whatever. And what's great is, the best copywriters, I remember I read this a long time ago. The best copywriters never write from scratch. The best copywriters never write from scratch, right? They take things that are working already and they tweak them, right? And so you may go, okay, I could specifically use right away 5 surprising habits that reduce inflammation, but you could also take a magazine that maybe has nothing to do with what it is that you're talking about. Let's see, I don't know if there's an article in this one I have right here. This one's definitely not a good example. I bought a wedding magazine today. It doesn't look like there's any articles. It's mostly just photos. But let's say, for example, in here, it was the 3 things you have to consider when selecting a wedding venue. Okay. And you go, oh, wow, that's kind of interesting. That piques my interest, but I'm not a wedding planner. My business has nothing to do with weddings. That's fine. You can take the top 3 things that you must consider when choosing a supplement company, when choosing a brand of vitamins, when choosing, products to support your gut health. You can take things that you see, especially on magazines, and tweak them. Why? Because a lot of money has gone into this headline. They've paid top dollar for top writers and marketers and copywriters to create this. They do focus groups, especially on anything that's on the cover of a magazine. Does this caption pull or pique someone's interest into wanting to pick up this magazine? So if they're spending all of this money to craft the perfect sentence to entice somebody, you can take that and swap out the words to make sense for you. The best copywriters never start from scratch. And so even when you're thinking about what do I post to social media, you sit there and, maybe you're, tapping your pencil on the paper or twiddling your thumbs. You have no idea where to start. Just go look for inspiration and build from there. Going to this health and wellness area, I felt like I have a million tips that I can now talk about. And you don't have to go buy even wellness or health magazines. Go look at any magazines that you have at home. Right? And when you're doing that chart, you're solution aware and you're problem aware. Use your magazines, swap out the words to make sense for you and your business. So let's talk about writing captions. So we've talked about, the different types of posts that we could do. We could be taking photos from our camera. We could be pulling from the social media studio. We could be creating text graphics. We're looking online for different types of content ideas, right? Now I need to write a caption with it. Captions cannot be overlooked on your Instagram posts. They are important to help you grow and engage your following. Growth is what? Problem aware. Engaging with current is, so for the most part, a combination of both, but more solution aware, right? We're talking about us and the product, and we're keeping them engaged with why we are the solution. They're aware we're the solution. They're like, yes, I know that Mary Jo has the answers, and I'm going to continue to engage with her because she is my trusted source. But to help find new people, I need to talk about problem aware content because people don't know that I'm the expert on this. They're not looking for Mary Jo or Manatech. They're looking for, how do I improve my gut health? I need to make sure that I have that content. So when we think about captions, we have short captions. So something that's just very to the point, maybe a sentence to, I would say 4 or 5 sentences is what I would consider a short caption. They can usually be more effective because people have what? Short attention spans, especially on Instagram. They're scrolling quickly. And so short is especially helpful if your picture speaks for itself. And so always consider that, right? Does this picture really pack a punch? Do people understand just at a glance in what I'm talking about just by this photo alone? Because it's a graphic and photo heavy platform, we want to make sure that our photos, that's what's going to be stopping people to look and even read the caption. They're going to look at the photo before they decide to read. Okay. And so usually it can be short, but if you're going to make it short, it has to be very specific. It needs to be delivering the information that it needs to be. But we do have long captions also, and long can also work well. You're going to have to try and test them, right? Depending on what it is that you are talking about. So long can be great to use for lengthy explanations. Say you're doing a recipe or you're sharing a tutorial, right? Say maybe you've done a photo of something a recipe, and you're not going to put 3 lines for the recipe, right? You're going to build that out. That's okay. People are expecting it to be long. I remember when we were talking about Facebook Live, someone had asked, how long should our Facebook Lives be? And do any of you remember what my answer was? This was months ago, but does anyone remember what my answer was in terms of how long should your Facebook Live be? Minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 5. So we did talk about definitely some lengths of time. So 2 to 3 being a minimum, 10 usually being around a maximum for most people. But my answer, which was, I know maybe unsatisfying, was as long as it takes, as long as it needs to be, right? If I'm going to talk about, something that requires some explanation and I'm trying to fit it in 2 minutes, am I going to lose someone's attention? This training, we take up an hour, but can you imagine if I tried to do it in 5 minutes? You'd be left what? Confused, overwhelmed. But if this training was only 5 minutes and I tried to make it an hour, you'd become disengaged, distracted, bored, right? And so it all depends what it is that you're sharing. And so it will depend. There's no magic rules about this. The only rules is that you have to try, right? And we're going to talk about that a little bit too in a moment. And then long captions are also really great for storytelling. It's important if your picture does not tell the entire story to use a longer caption. And especially if you're doing a personal story, maybe you're sharing your why, you're sharing your transformation story, you're sharing something vulnerable to create authenticity and connection, it's going to be lengthier. Okay, just try them out. There is no right or wrong. There is only exploration. That's it, my friends. And then hashtags. So using hashtags in your caption, okay? This is going to help you gain that visibility. And so a hashtag, I'll post in the chat, is where you have what's called the hashtag sign, but many of us know it as the pound symbol, okay? And so you will just write the pound symbol and then a word or multiple words with no spaces attached to that pound symbol. So I just did in the chat, hashtag gut health, right? No spaces, all one word, no space between the hashtag or the pound symbol and the rest of the word. This will tag the post. Say I've done a problem aware post about, how to improve your gut health, or the 5 mistakes you're making that are ruining your gut health or whatever. I'm going to tag it with this hashtag, which means people who follow this hashtag that are interested in learning about gut health, the chances of them seeing my post are much higher. People who follow hashtags are problem aware consumers. People who know they have a problem and want to learn more about their gut health. They're not necessarily solution oriented or solution aware. Why? Because then they wouldn't be focusing on using the hashtag to search for content. They would go directly to an expert's page to go, what is this person saying? Okay. So I want everyone, just so we are clear, to post in the chat an example of a hashtag. You can use any word sequence, doesn't matter, but I just want to see you guys type it in there in the chat so you guys know how to write that. If you're doing multiple hashtags, you will have a space between each one. I'll show an example here. Great. You guys are, yep, perfect. Awesome. Yay. Cool. So that's how you do it. Nice and simple. You want to make sure though that your hashtags are specific to your post. It has to make sense. If I look up gut health, for example, just because you've been using that one as an example, and you've put gut health on an inspirational post about something not about that, am I going to engage with your post? Probably not. I'm looking for gut health related content. And Facebook looks at that, or Instagram looks at that, and they will deprioritize your posts if you're using hashtags that are not specific. So just make sure that you're using ones that are specific to what it is that you're talking about, right? And you can look on Instagram and you can search different hashtags too to get examples. So if you're like, I want to talk about gut health and I don't know what to post, go to the search bar on Instagram and type in hashtag gut health or just even the word gut health, and you'll get a bunch of different posts. Okay, you can use up to 30 hashtags, but you know, they say, we don't know exactly, around 10 is usually a great mark for an amount of hashtags. Okay. But again, be specific. If you're feeling like you're getting a little bit too general or you're getting off base, it's okay if you're only using a few. We're always tracking and looking anyways. Okay. I also wanted to include here how to make posts more inclusive. I think that this is also important for many of your demographic and who it is that you're also connecting with. So number one, using like live captioning or closed captioning. Okay. So if you're using video, so even if you're posting a video to your feed, add captions to it, right? There's different, if you're doing an IGTV post, which we'll talk about in another one, you can automatically add captions to that. But there's other different programs. Like there's one called Clip-O-Matic that you can add captions to things. Okay. This is helpful for the hearing impaired, right? Plus, for people watching video on mute. In fact, 85% of video on social media is watched sound off. No sound, 85%. Are we wowed by that? Put that in the chat. Wow, yes. Why do we think that that is? Why do we think most people are watching video on mute? Type in the chat. Maybe yep, in public places. That's a big one. They're at work. Exactly, Martha. Sleeping husband. Right. Oh, Diane, I thought you meant surfing, like they were like in the ocean. Surfing. No, they're just surfing the internet. Look at me taking it so literally, not being up on the internet lingo. I was like, oh, I don't think anyone brings their phone surfing. But yeah, because they're just using social media in their downtime. They're waiting in line at the grocery store. They're, sitting in the doctor's office. They are at work. Like Martha said, I love you too, Christine. They're at work. They're like at their desk, right? Killing some time. They can't have video on. And so adding captions can really help with your engagement because people will be able to actually read what it is that you are posting. And like I said, it helps the hearing impaired. With your IG caption, so not closed captioning, but you can also use your caption to help make it more inclusive, to reiterate what is in the photo or to write out the quote. So say you put a quote post that says, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a quote right now. I'm on the spot. I love Brene Brown, so I will just choose hers. You can't choose courage or what is it? You have to choose courage or comfort. You can't have both at the same time. Okay. Say that's a post that I do. Okay. I may put as the first line in my caption, I may write out what that quote is. The reason why is that caption, someone who is visually impaired on their phone will read social media captions to them. That one's Brene Brown, the quote. Yeah. You can also use alt text. So if you're not familiar with what alt text is, if you were to post to Instagram, let's say, I believe you can do this on Facebook too. If you click edit after you've already posted it, you click the 3 little dots in the top corner, you click the edit button. There'll be something called alt text. This is for someone who is visually impaired, and it describes the photo. So for example, say I posted a picture of someone holding OSP, right? I would explain this photo is of a woman's hands out. You cannot see her face, and she is holding packets of supplements called OSP from Manatech. You just literally describe what the photo is. That way, someone who's visually impaired, who is on social media, their phone reads the alt text. So say I'm scrolling and Peggy has posted that photo and I stop, it'll say, Peggy has posted a photo of a woman with her hands out holding a packet of vitamins called OSP from company Manatech. And then it'll read the caption that Peggy did with it. Right? So it's just creating really inclusive content. And then because we want our content to be accessible, right? It's like having an elevator in a hotel, right? Elevators are important for people who need them, who can't climb the stairs, who maybe are in a wheelchair, but it also is what? Helpful for people that also don't have a disability. It makes it easier for everyone. And so when we think about, I'm going to make sure that I caption things or add alt text because people that are hearing impaired can, read it or hear it or whatever, but it's also helping everyone else because we know 85% of videos are watched sound off, and other people also use alt text as well, right? And in fact, I pulled this quote: more than 30% of people on social media reported difficulty with at least one of the following: seeing, hearing, speaking, organizing thought, walking, or grasping with hands. Okay, so we know that. And especially if you are interested in reaching an older demographic, they may have trouble visually, or they may be slightly hearing impaired. And so making your post inclusive is very important. Okay, so just some overall reminders, okay? When to post, some strategic plan steps, when to post. You can use use your analytics and insights on Instagram to determine best times. If you go to your analytics, remember I told you, don't be afraid to explore Instagram, go click buttons, see what they do. Okay, it'll tell you your audience is most active at 9 p.m. It's typically what everyone's is because people are often more engaged on social media in the evening. But a pro tip, post when you are excited and engaged, right? If you're going to go, I know it's going to do better at 9 p.m., but you just want to schedule it, but at 9 o'clock, you go to bed at 8. And so you're like, I'll schedule it for 9, but I'm going to go to bed at 8. I want you to be present when you're posting because I want you to be excited and engaged. And, if I post something and, for example, Martha comments on it, I want to engage with Martha in a conversation, right? It's like sending people to voicemail if you're gone. I want to actually talk to people that are interested in what I'm talking about because those are potential leads. So yes, we can look at analytics and insights. That's the tip, of course. But pro tip is when you know that you have a spare second to engage with your own content and the people engaging. How often should I post? I would love for you guys to start with 3 to 4 times a week with the goal of 1 to 2 times per day. That's the end goal. I said to Sona, so I actually went to Sona's house yesterday and worked there for the afternoon. It was great. We got a lot of planning for 2022 done. And she doesn't use Instagram. So we were helping her get set up on Instagram. And she started asking, how many times should I post? What should I post? And I said, we'll get there. Your main goal right now isn't to create content that's going to build you a huge following. Your goal right now is to use Instagram consistently. That's it. Start there. I want you to go on Instagram. I want you to play with buttons. I want you to try. I want you to start engaging. And so if you are not somebody that uses Instagram regularly, your goal isn't necessarily to take all these tips. It's just to start consistently going there. Start small, tiny habits create what? Real results, right? Martha said, is it a good idea to use these tips in creating posts from Social Media Studio so I can post to the platforms I've picked, including Instagram, to save time? Absolutely. So if you're going to schedule in advance, which I'm totally cool with, just have an idea of when those posts are going live so you can check in on them, right? So you may go, oh, I scheduled something to go for noon today. By at least 1 o'clock, I would like you to be on your own post, check in and start commenting and having conversations with other people, right? So 3 to 4 times a week with a goal of 1 to 2 times per day, but start just with your consistency. And you can use, pro tip, you can use stories, which we'll talk about next week, to promote the posts you've already done. And so even if you are only doing 1 post a week, right? And you're like, oh, I don't really have anything to talk about. You can take a post from 3 months ago and share it into your stories. I'll show you how to do that and bring more attention to that, right? You've already done it. You can, once a post is posted, it doesn't mean that it's dead. It means that you can continue to bring attention back to it. And what do I post? Well, ask yourself, what is your goal? Think about what it is important to you and your biz right now. What do I want to talk about? And if you don't know, then start to search around and find that content, but get specific. Am I being problem aware, solution aware? And a pro tip, think about your Instagram, as I mentioned already, as a whole. What story are you telling? So we have less time left than I thought. So we're going to finish this up. And then I was going to give you a few minutes at the end to work on something, but I'm going to give it to you to do, and we'll end the call to do on your own. But just other thing, apps that you can use for Instagram, of course, the social media studio that we have at Manatech. It's really nice and easy. It's very similar to Canva, but it has all the Manatech products that are in there as well. Logos, things like that for you to use. Canva, I'm using Canva right now. Okay, this is how I created this, and create a lot of posts. And you can just use the Instagram app itself too. There's a lot of different things that you can do in there. So just play around. And your homework, which was going to be some time and today, but I think we'll just kind of do some questions. I want you to try to create one. Before you get up from your chair after we even end this call, I want you to go create an Instagram post. Okay. Or if you've never even been on Instagram, at least go try, right? To just even go in there. One of the things that, we're talking about for 2022 is how do we create more action plans for all of you? And so we're going to be adjusting some things. I have some ideas. One thing I want to create, love to hear your feedback, is I want to call them playbooks, social media playbooks. And you'll still get your training, right? But there'll be guidebooks that you can actually go to where it tells you all the steps of different things. So you don't have to rewatch maybe an entire training. You can just follow the steps in a guide. That's why I called them little mini playbooks. We can have a playbook for Facebook, an Instagram playbook, a LinkedIn, a YouTube. I could probably split Facebook into a few different ones too, one for Facebook groups and things like that. Then you can just read the playbook. You're like, I want to build that. I'm going to go read the playbook. It's saying all the different things I need to do, right? Because it can be, the training's great for knowledge, but how do I really get into action? And I think that having those playbooks, great. Everyone's saying you love that idea. Great idea. Okay, perfect. Because that's what I'm working on pitching for 2022. And I think that it will be really helpful. So I just encourage you to get yourself into action. And like I said to Sona yesterday, right? Your goal isn't to become an Instagram expert right now or to do all of these things right now. First, just start showing up consistently. That consistency is going to build what? Confidence. Confidence and going, I know how to navigate this. I know what this button means, takes away fear and leaves space for you to create, to actually start digging into content, right? So I hope that this was helpful for everyone today. I'm gonna, where are we? Stop share here, bring us all back. There we go. Oh, thank you, Martha. I appreciate that. So how are we all feeling? We're feeling good. Yes, we're feeling more equipped. So I want you to take these steps and go try them. Remember, I used this analogy before, and I'm going to say it again because I love it. I say it to myself often. When you make a mistake, when you are driving, even when you're using a fancy piece of technology called a GPS, and you turn left when you are supposed to turn right, what does it say to you? Recalculating. It doesn't say you're a loser, turn around, go home, never drive again, right?
Calculate.
Yeah, that's the same thing with social media. Martha just said it. We get to do do-overs. It's okay, right? You're not a loser and you don't have to go home and stop doing all this. Just recalculate. Guess what? You can post something and it goes, oh, that doesn't actually look very good. There's this amazing button. It's called delete. You get to delete it and you get to start again. So consistency, build the confidence, go on there, explore the foreign terrain, and you will be okay. Because I'm your little GPS and I'm just going to tell you to recalculate. All right. You guys are awesome. Thank you for showing up. Every time you show up, it is a huge testament to me of your commitment to your business and to yourselves and to your growth and to your vision of what you really want for your life. So I applaud you all. Showing up to be a student and something that you may not be comfortable in is hard. And like Brene Brown says, you can choose courage or you can choose comfort. Can't have both. And growth only happens with courage, right?
Right.
Awesome. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Saturday. I will see you all next week, but I'll see you during the week. I'll be running, oh no, that's next week, the week after. Well, I'll be running a merge when everyone's in Costa Rica on the beach, living lavishly, and I'm just stuck here in the rain and the wet and the cold. But we'll be there with you guys all next week. See you guys then. I also another quick question. Another thing I'm thinking of for 2022 is to create a separate Facebook group just for social media so that we can post the trainings in there. And that is where you guys can really ask me more questions. And then plus I have more opportunity, say something changes on Instagram or there's an update I want you guys to know. I can always just hop on a quick Facebook Live in our group and just do like a 2-minute, like, hey guys, here's a little tip for today. I think creating our own group will be really helpful. Okay, I'm seeing some like thumbs up. Joan's very happy about this. I see that. I didn't want to add too many groups to your plate, but I think knowing where you can really connect with me and share about social media will be really helpful. So we'll get that going for all of you. It was in my plan for 2022, but I, can probably get approval on it to start as early as like next week. So I will ask about that. And yeah, amazing. Peggy says been wanting that all along. Great. So I will see you guys during the week. Love you all. Great job.
Thank you, Lindsay. Appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.